morning. Hello, everyone. I'm Sakshi from the Literature Times, and today in the interview, we have Raghu Palat sir and Pushpa Palat ma'am, author of the book The Case That Shook the Empire. And I'm very happy to introduce our author. So, Raghu sir, as a banker, has an experience of writing since 1982. He has written more than 45 books, and his books are bestsellers. And Pushpa ma'am has an expertise in writing a child's book and loves to travel. And she has written many books that are favorite in child's genre. So, welcome ma'am, welcome sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, my first question is, what drew you to Sir Chettur Sankaran Nair's story, and why do you feel like it needed to be told?
Okay, we had gone to Amritsar to see the Golden Temple, and on our way back, Jallianwala Bagh is on there. So, and I'm a history buff. So we walked in there, we saw the horrors of the Jallianwala Bagh, and then when we got into the museum, all of a sudden Pushpa came up to me and said, "See, here is a plaque dedicated to your great grandfather."
Yes, there was this plaque. That part of the museum was a little dark, but so he missed it. So there was a big plaque which honored his great grandfather. And we're from Kerala, so I was really surprised that, which shows how little we knew about the situation then. But I was really surprised that his great grandfather was being honored in the Punjab. So then when he came back, he decided.
I want to write about him, or write about his experience for my children, actually, for them to know. And I started writing an article. And then when Pushpa read it, she said there's much more to it.
Yeah.
And that is how we got involved and started writing the book.
And then we were very fortunate in that when we were writing the book, this is the book, by the way. Can you see it? Okay. So, we were very fortunate. I mean, it's not fortunate, but actually there was the lockdown for COVID. So we could work on the book uninterrupted, and research could go on and everything could go on. So we finished the book pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly, and we had access to a lot of information because since he was my great grandfather, I had heard about him when I was growing up because my grandfather was his eldest and only son. His two sons-in-law had written books about him. There was his autobiography. There was the book that he had written called Gandhi and Anarchy. And then we were able to access the Punjab Disorders Report and the Congress Report. There was a lot of information available.
So actually the book is very factual because of the amount of information we have gathered. But we have written it in an easy style, in a style that, like a novel, so that people can enjoy history without having to be, confined to dates and events. So that was basically the book.
Yes. So both of your chemistry is so good. So I want to know how it helped in writing the book.
What chemistry?
we had different styles of writing. As you said, I am very methodical, analytical, whatever. But whereas she brings stories to life. So it was
interesting. Have you ever heard of a husband and wife being totally on the same page as far as everything is concerned? So yes, we had huge arguments because I believe I write better. And you know what? He thinks he writes better. I certainly think I write. So there is all these huge world wars regarding how we've written. But the main thing is that we got down to writing the book. And thereafter also we've managed. And we haven't divorced, so we're managing. So it's fun. We both enjoy writing. So that's basically the passion.
We bring different perspectives.
Yes, that's true.
I think certain things are important. She thinks certain other things. And then there is a agreement eventually.
Eventually, we go for what is good for the book. Though we have huge egos, we still, submit that the book has to be readable for the reader. That's the final goal, and that's where our arguments end.
Yes, ma'am. So, what was the most surprising thing you discovered while doing the research for this book?
It was not surprising, it was horrifying.
Yes. It was
tragic,
horrifying.
tragic.
You see, when we started reading the
Hmm.
the Hunter Commission report and the Congress report, and again the other thing was we were able to get newspaper cuttings for every single day of the 6-week trial. It was horrifying the way Indians were treated. One, the massacre. Secondly, after that, the martial order in the Punjab, the way
Crawling
people were
order,
made to
the
crawl,
flogging.
whipped, children made to stand in the hot sun.
And to write that down is heart-wrenching. Believe me, it's not easy. When you see that your own people have gone through this. And we had no clue. We had no clue. In fact, we were surprised when the plaque was up there. Now we realize why Punjab honored him. It was because of him that the atrocities came to the world. I mean, the press covered it and the whole world got to know about the Jallianwala Bagh massacres and all the Punjab atrocities because of him. So therefore, he was being honored.
You see, the moment he resigned from the Viceroy's Executive Council, within 3 days, press censorship in the Punjab was lifted. Within 4 days, the martial order was removed. And because it was such a momentous thing of our the only Indian member of the Viceroy's Executive Council resigning, the Hunter Commission was instituted to find out what actually happened. And it was because of these series of events that Jallianwala Bagh, details, Jallianwala Bagh and Punjab atrocities came to light.
That's how, and it was covered by the world press. It was not just India which covered it, but everywhere. Until then, Punjab's borders were sealed. And there was total press censorship. So nobody got to know what was happening in the Punjab. And that suited the British. So when it came out like this, it was, the whole world got to know of what the British did.
Yes, ma'am. And like you mentioned, there are a lot of historical research that you have to do. Was it really difficult to access such information from the government and the trial courts?
No, it wasn't difficult at all. And I enjoyed research. I enjoyed looking into historical events.
We love history.
And I go through it in great detail. And what we try to do is bring out the man, the kind of person he was.
That's right.
Because we wanted people to be able to relate to him.
But getting information was not a problem.
No problem.
At all. We had plenty of information.
Okay. And the trial was one of the longest in history. So, how did you condense such long trial into such a very vast material into compelling narrative?
Yeah. So what we did was actually we got daily reports, like he told you, about the trial. Now, what we tried to focus on is what is the essence of each day, right? What would, what stands out in the trial? Because there is a lot of other information also, which is excess information. But there are certain things that stand out. So we picked that and then we worked on that and then we checked on our further research to make sure that everything that we wrote was correct. And that's how we took the main highlights of the case and literally daily we went through and we took it down.
And you must realize that when the case was fought, all the cards were stacked against him. You had a racist judge, 12 Englishmen who were the jurors, and he still had the courage to fight.
And he fought it alone. His own money, and in fact he went bankrupt, right?
Nearly.
Nearly bankrupt. Because he lost most of his money in this case. It's expensive. It's very expensive. 5 weeks, it's a long, long time.
Yes. How do you see Shankar Nair's legacy in today's world?
His legacy was basically that one man fighting legally, by law, without disobedience, without breaking the law, without doing anything illegal, could actually fight just one man could fight a great power like the British government. So that is it gives you inspiration that you're not, even if you fight it alone, please stick up for your principles. Please fight it out, because, that's the only way your country is going to benefit.
And if you really look at it, it is a South Indian from Kerala fighting, fighting on what happened in the north in Punjab. It was one man standing up against injustice and cruelty.
And one man's fighting for all Indians, not just, just Kerala or just Punjab or just Gujarat, nothing like that. It was one man for everyone.
Yes. So can you give me a more brief about his character as a human being, as a nationalist, both?
He, as a nationalist, when we're talking about nationalists, if you read his, go through his life, at every point of time he believed Indians must rule themselves. There should be self-government. Right from the beginning, when he joined the Viceroy's Executive Council, when Lord Chelmsford, the Viceroy, felt that Indians were not yet ready, he wrote his famous Minute of Dissent. And he opposed the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Again, he had his own say in the matter. And right throughout his life, he insisted on self-government, government by Indians.
So basically, he was a man of very strong principles. Okay? He was very clear about what is right and what is wrong. And once he decided that this was the right thing to do, he went at it no matter what the opposition, who he had to face, whether it was the government, whether it was other people, but he just went at it. So he was very strong-minded. You have to be very strong-minded, very principled, very stubborn also, I must say.
And he was a man of law, so he believed that everything should be enacted by not by civil disobedience or strikes, but by due process of law.
And also maybe the British had a handful with him because he used to express his opinion. What was he called? The angry bear or something?
The angry bear who lives on the hill.
Yes. So they didn't know how to handle him because he was so outspoken. So that was his character. Outspoken.
And if he did not agree, he would shout at the top of his voice, irrespective of who it was there.
Yes. And Pushpa ma'am, I have a question for you. You have written books about child. So how was your whole experience from child's book to writing about the history?
See, I write for children, but I've also done a lot of writing for luxury products and for travel as well. So what happens is with all these things, you're meeting people. Now I'm meeting you, and I get an assessment of who you are and what you're saying and your smile and everything. So everything you learn after a point, because I've been in this business, writing for so many years, that you learn to see people for who they are, and you then you can accept them for who they are. So then that characterization comes very easily. So after a point, when you're writing, like when I was writing, all our books, in fact, the protagonist, I begin to think like, you get what I'm saying? Because you get to know so much about him from the research and from all that you heard. He was a part of family. So much you heard. So you get to almost know the man, though he's not there. And this came through dealing with people for so many, many years.
Yes. So after this book, you have written two more books in historical events. So I want to know more about those books. Can you give a brief spotlight on those books?
Sure. The second book we've written is called Destiny's Child, The Undefeatable Reign of Cochin's Paarakutti Nethiyaramma. She was the consort of the Maharaja of Cochin. But she came from, she broke all tradition, and when her husband was ill, she took over the reins of government, and she introduced so many reforms to Cochin, like education of women. Cochin had the first, legislator, and also the first woman legislator. The British were trying to move her out, but she resisted and she fought against the British. Not only that, she was the only Indian ruler to support Mahatma Gandhi in the freedom movement. She actually, they used to weave khadi in the Hill Palace in Triponitura.
So yes, she was a very
She was very
for her time, she got married very early, 14, when she was 14, right?
14.
Her husband was 30 years older than how many years?
17 years older. And in those days, the wife did not stay with the husband because we have a matrilineal society. She refused to accept that and went and stayed with her husband. Yes. She was the first to break that rule also.
She took a lot of unusual and unprecedented stands in many things. And what was wonderful is that the Maharaja and she worked together. They worked as a team. And honestly, she was never subjugated by anybody or not. She was one who expressed her opinion and got things done. So she was a very interesting character. Also, she happens to be Raghu's great-grandmother.
She is my great-grandmother. And I had the fortune of knowing her until I was 15 years old when she passed away. She brought me up. So I knew a lot about her. And of course, my grandfather was her son. My grandmother was her daughter because my father married his first cousin. She brought up my dad. So I knew a lot about her.
Also, his mother had passed away when he was what, 8, 9? What?
8, 9.
So this Parukuti had brought him.
I grew up in her house.
But I must tell you, we're not writing only about family, okay? In case you get that wrong impression.
Our second book, which is going to be published, which is going to be released in July, is on Martanda Varma, the person who created the Travancore Empire. Okay. How he, from a small kingdom, created the empire, and not only that, at the height, he was the only Indian ruler to defeat a foreign power and stop their hopes or aspirations of colonizing India. This is the Dutch. And at that time, the Dutch were even more powerful than the British. Not only that, at the height of his power, he donated the entire kingdom to the Lord Padmanabha Swami of the temple, the Lord Padmanabha Swami. As a consequence of which, the Padmanabha Swami temple in Kerala now is the richest temple in the world.
Yes. So it started with him. So he was a remarkable character, really remarkable. The amount of risks he took without a care of endangering his life. He was so determined that the crown should be in charge and not nobles or priests or anything. He felt that the king was responsible for his people. So he must make the effort to rule his people. And that's how it's a very strong.
And at the time when he ascended the throne, you will see, when you read the book, you'll see how the nobles tried to assassinate him.
So many attempts.
And take over the country and all that, and how he resisted everything. Yeah. It's a fascinating story.
He disguises himself. He's a very powerful. Yeah.
And Raghu sir, you have come from the financial background. So I want to know how it helped in your writing career, how you analytically balanced it.
You see, when I say finance, analysis is very important. Yes. And when you're writing history, you are analyzing events on how, chronologically, how things happened. Not only that, you're trying to go behind the minds of these people to determine how they reacted to situations. So from that perspective, finance helped me enormously. I could understand the pulls or the reasons why people acted in the way they did. And that is how it helped.
Also, there's always the aspect of reform and the finances that go into ruling a country. Why was certain monies put in there? Why was this loan taken? So all that he's very clear on. Sorry. No, so that I think helped with his financial, acumen.
Yes, and both of you work so good, and you have very busy schedule with your financial work as well as your traveling and everything. how do you manage to write books in such easy way that is so well known in the readers?
I don't know how we do
We're
it.
very passionate about writing.
Yeah.
We love writing.
That's it.
So if we get a chance, we do. And we also read extensively.
See, actually, I write from 10 to 5. I love writing. Give me anything to write and I'll write. Even if I have nothing to write, I will write. Because I really enjoy writing. And he's basically a banker, but he's always been writing. See?
And I
It's
love
not-
history.
It's not a task or a job or a, financial proposition. Not at all.
It's a passion.
It's a passion. Yeah.
The passion.
So then, that's
So
why.
I'm always constantly thinking of the next book. And
Which is a bit of a problem.
research and trying to find out more and then say, would this be good in a book? Would this not be good in a book? Why, sort of.
And he's on his 6th book when we are on our first, okay? He's mentally in the 6th, 7th book. But I'm still struggling with the first. So, yeah. No, writing is just something we love. And I think that matters. In anything you do, if you love it, some of that love transfers to your work.
Yes. So, when you heard about the news that your book is now adopted as a movie, how was your reaction?
Wow. Oh, wow. That's it.
We were really delighted.
And look at it's Dharma. You can't you can't be more fortunate. Quite.
And the cast, Akshay, Kumar, Madhavan, Ananya Pandey, Malapol, the cast was superb. And also, another thing which is very important is that the director, Karan Singh Tyagi, is a Harvard law graduate. So a law graduate directed a case about a case.
Yeah.
You can't get more professional.
Yeah, and they honestly, I don't know whether you caught the trailer. The trailer is brilliant. So was the teaser. The movie is like unbelievable. It's something that we are very proud of. So I'm sure they are very proud of it. It's a very good movie. It's a strong movie. It's a hard-hitting movie. And the message which comes out is that the British really need to apologize. They really need to apologize. So, we were very, very delighted because now, see, was it just a family? We started with just an article, a family story, right? And he was writing it for his kids. Now, that same story is going worldwide. Think about it. How fortunate are we?
And everyone will now know about Sankaran Nair.
And
the spread of a movie is so much more than a book.
Also, these people like Sir Sankaran Nair need to be known. See, there were individuals, many. I'm not saying that this is the only one, but there are so many, and their stories remain hidden. But they have contributed enormously to India's independence, to India's, reforms. So why are we not highlighting these stories? Why should it be all, just standardized stories about standardized people, that we know all about? It's amazing, and I'm really glad because, like he says, the reach of Hindi films. And everybody knows. And it's a worldwide release on the 18th. So we're really looking forward. Please pray for it.
I'm sure I'm looking forward to the movie. And ma'am, what is the message that you both want from this book and the movie that the reader and watcher gets?
I think for me, it would be that we're all Indians. Yes?
Yes.
We all feel the same for every other Indian. And this was a tragic episode in our history. So all of us need to feel. It may have happened in Punjab, but it impacts all of us. We are in the end one. And that, I feel, is the message that this movie should bring on. We hope to be brought out in the
And not only that, if an atrocity is committed, you cannot sit back and say, it didn't affect me.
Yeah, exactly.
It affects your own countrymen. And you have to stand up and fight against that atrocity and see that it doesn't happen.
Like he did. He was far away in Kerala. He could have said, it doesn't bother me. It's happening in Punjab and that's up north. But he stood by the principle that I will fight for Punjab. So it doesn't matter where they are from. We're all one.
Yes. And if one of your another book will be selected in the movie, what book it would be that you would like, and how it would make you.
Look, all our books are our babies. Whatever book it is, we were lucky and fortunate. We are very fortunate that this becomes a movie. We hope every one of our books, obviously.
Exactly. Because we've written about
People.
People
Interesting people.
who have done tremendous deeds.
Yeah.
And who the rest of the world should know
The
about.
stories are very good. See, because these are human interest stories. So you're talking about a person. So that is interesting. So whichever person they choose to write about from our books, we are very grateful. We are very happy.
And both of you have come from different writing styles. So working together, I want to know how it is a sweet moment and all the challenges that you both face while collaborating your work.
See, like we said, it came out, we were writing during COVID. So in any case, we were stuck together and there was nothing else, that we were doing. So we were writing quietly. We were writing. We write. And if you see our house, I write at one end of the house and he writes at the other. Okay, we won't keep this. So writing, we wrote every single chapter separately,
and then we discuss each chapter. I try to push my chapter, and she tries to put hers. We arrive at a compromise, which is of which
workable.
What should be inserted, and that's how it is. Because there must be discussion. Because we want to bring out a book that is interesting, that is factual, that is true, and conveys our thoughts and feelings.
He says discussion is more like argument, huh? Let me tell you. We argue about everything and then we finally decide. But you see what? He's a history buff. So he can read dates and events and all that. I am a writer and a reader. I like stories. I think most people love stories. So the final, demarcation where we cut off is that we want a reader to enjoy a story. So both of us are ready to give up a little bit from each of our writing each chapter, individually. We say, okay, the reader would like to read it this way. And so therefore, we compromise on it and we say that's where the argument ends. There is no further discussion. If we feel that the reader will, be intrigued by it, will be interested in it, and would be, appeal to him, that's where we stop all argument and then we put it down.
So my final question is there is anything that I have missed in the interview that you would like to add from your side?
My God, we talk so much. What?
We told you everything.
I think we've done it now. And you've given us
just want to end by saying that we're really happy with Kesari's chapter 2.
Yes.
They've done a phenomenal job, and I really hope it will be a massive success.
It's a huge movie. It has been produced at large scale, and Akshay Kumar has done a phenomenal job. His nuances are great. Again, Madhavan, Madhavan's acting as well. Everybody knows. So therefore, two great actors pitted against each other. It's going to be really, I hope a grosser, because there's a lot of hard work which has got. If you see the movie, you'll know that again, Karan Singh Tyagi's passion is being revealed in this movie. So, I think it should do very well. We're very happy that we are part of this Kesari chapter. Yes?
Yes.
So a big congratulations to both of you for this news that the book is converting into a movie. I'm looking very forward to it that I soon get to see that movie. I get
18th of April. Good Friday.
Go for first day, first show. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was lovely talking.
It was lovely speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sakshi.
Thank you.